October is going to be a big month for World of Warcraft. We've talked a lot about the stuff coming. Big week as well for WoW. We got the Q&A coming up. Let's just dive straight in. We got a lot of news to get into here. The Midnight Deep Dive happening on October 1st. That's right. We got Ian Hazakostas, Chris Metzen, all the big boys coming in to answer your questions. Now, these questions are being submitted. They're going to be picked beforehand, so it's kind of pre-submitted questions, but hopefully they get into some of the nitty-gritty of what's going on in this expansion. We also got a lot of stuff happening October 21st, the launch of Turbo Boost. That's right, that's been announced. So I don't know when this happened, over the weekend or what, but Blizzard has officially announced a Turbo Boost event. We're going to get into kind of all the details of what's happening with this second iteration of Turbo Boost here, but should be a nice boon for everybody's item levels. October 1st begins the Twitch drop. We talked about this already. We got the Lil Coley Twitch drop happening. You got to watch 4 hours of this shitty stream or any other WoW stream to get this drop. This coincides with the big Q&A event. By the way, the Q&A event happening at 9 a.m. Pacific time. So match that up with whatever you currently live. Missa Pandaria Classic Landfall content update is now live. If you're a MoP Classic enjoyer, congratulations to you. You get to replay content that everyone else has already played through. Make sure you don't miss out on the Kilts. The Brewfest event continues on through October 9th. That's right, lots of good items to be had here. We talked about many of these. The Brewfest Bomber, the new mount brought into Brewfest this year. Very cool mount. We got some balloons. And get yourself some crows, some ravens. That's right, the ravens pack currently available on the WoW store for $30 and 33% off select WoW progressions in game. So Classic WoW, all these other things. You can do some realm swapping, all kinds of shit. Do whatever you want. Change your name to something completely inappropriate until Blizzard bans you. Besides that, the puzzling cartel chips and everything else going on with the Turbo Boost event. Let's get into this stuff. This is the second iteration of Turbo Boost. We know we're going to be getting item level upgrades. That's right, from 6 to 8 now, your items will be upgradable, as well as upgrades available for your any of your crafted items. You'll be able to go back to the augmentation matrix to recraft items, do all that kind of shit, and up your item level. I mean, it's going to be a big item level boost as it was the last time around. There will be new quests available. If you remember last time we had these puzzling cartel chips, you got 3 of them to upgrade to get an item. You're going to be able to buy all these cantrip items, trinkets, rings, things like that. You need 3 of them to buy an item. You're going to get 9 in total for the entire Turbo Boost event, which means you can pick 3 items in total to purchase with these cartel chips. So make sure you make the right choices. These are not refundable. You just have to buy and make sure you're picking the right stuff at the right times. For the start of this thing, if you remember, just like last time, you will get to a Turbo Boost, what's it called, quest. It's called the Turbo Trade Must Flow Turbo Boost quest. You'll kill some bosses in a raid or do some Mythic Plus, whatever it is, to complete the quest. It's 4 Mythic Plus, actually, or 4 bosses in Mana Forged Omega raid at a normal difficulty or higher. Once you do that, you'll get your first 3 chips. That's right, so the first week, you're going to get an item right away, and then after that, it's going to be every week, every 3 weeks after that to be able to fill out and get enough cartel chips. You'll also get a Turbo Boost Infinite Growth, which will reward you with 1 puzzling cartel chip as your weekly quest going forward. So that's going to be the kind of the one that fills out every 3 weeks, adding up to 3 coins. As I said before, 9 cartel chips in total, which means 3 items purchasable throughout this event. The gearing vendors will be Fixer Sotho and Fixer Sokir, found in Dornegal. As I said before, it'll be weapons, trinkets, and cantrip items from Season 3. Some people were saying a cantrip item would be considered the boots from the Demon Hunters. That's kind of true, right? It fits the definition, but last time we didn't have anything other than trinkets, rings, and weapons. So we'll see if this one actually qualifies the boots. I mean, they are a cantrip item, so if they do, I mean, that's going to be one that everybody purchases. I'm still waiting on my Demon Hunter boots, so we'll see if that actually happens. But that'll be the one that I purchase first if they are available. If you want Mythic level track gear, you're going to have to either kill Myth track bosses or complete Myth 12 or higher, and this has to be a timed run to be able to get the trinkets from those dungeons at a myth track level. So this is very much the same as it was previously. You have to be able to kill the boss at the level of item that you actually want to get to be able to purchase it with your puzzling cartel chips. There will also be delve rewards, increased delve rewards throughout this event. Get a leg up on the adventures, boosting your delver's journey progress and improvements to rewards from your delver's bounty. Delver's journey progress earned per week is significantly increased during this thing from bountiful coffers, nemesis strong boxes, and end of run grants. You'll be getting more Valor Stones, which will be good for upgrades and stuff like that. And an increase to repeatable earnable crests across the Delve tiers. So I guess we'll be able to earn more than 31, I think right now is the cap on Delves. So that'll be a nice one. Tiers 9 and above will drop champion level 1 through 8 Warbound equipment. Untainted mana crystals can also be obtained through bountiful coffers and restored coffer with restored coffer keys inside of bountiful delves at tier 9 or above, reaching rank 3 from your Delve's journey. These mana crystals can be turned into Zahran for heroic track trinkets during this event. There'll also be some professions updates, including the ability to recraft your gear to higher item level, obviously. Sam killing any bosses or timing any keys. Good joke. Yeah, sure. Study the timeline. That's right. So there's some cool stuff coming in with Legion Remix as well. We've already seen some of this and talked about a few of these things. But Legion Remix obviously is bringing some infinite quests, they're calling them. So this acts just like the current weekly quests that we get right now in retail, but these will be daily quest lines. Now, what's interesting about these is you can actually stack up to 6 of them and then do them all at once. So these will not go away, and you will not have to wait to complete one to get the next one. So what you can technically do with this, and it's a nice catch-up mechanic actually for Legion Remix, is just continually accept these quests, build up 6 of them, say you did it every day of the week, and then Saturday or Sunday, complete 6 all at once to get a bunch of rewards. For this stuff, you'll be getting infinite power, which is very much important to gearing out. This time around, gear will not be upgradable with bronze like it was previously. Instead, you need this infinite knowledge. You need to loot, which will grant you the ability to loot items with more epic rarity, which means they're increased in item level, giving you an item level boost throughout your shit. You'll also be upgrading your Legion legendaries, or I should say Legion artifacts, with all this shit. So that's how you're going to be boosting yourself this time around. Nice little catch-up mechanic in the fact that they are going to allow you to stack these quests this time around. And then we're also getting heroic world tiers. That's right. So these things are increased difficulty to world content. We've talked about some of this stuff already, but there's some interesting lore tidbits in this shit that we hadn't talked about before. So taking it for inspiration from Diablo, you're going to get increased world content, world tier content. So basically everything in the world becomes empowered in some way, shape, or form. Increased health, increased damage from mobs and shit like that, and obviously increased rewards for doing this stuff. You'll be running around getting more bronze and infinite power by completing quests and doing shit in this world tier. Some of the mobs will be extra empowered. There'll be 4 of these extra empowered abilities that'll be granted to mobs. One of them is called Imperious. Nearby enemies inflict 25% more damage. You'll see orbs above their heads, different indicators for these things. If they are in fact double empowered, which means they're also going to give you more rewards if you kill them. As I said before, Imperious 25% increased damage. Beacon of Chaos occasionally summons demonic allies in combat. Their health is increased by 10%, and mobs have Fel shards above their heads. Here for the Fel Razor, and their damage and health are increased by 40%. And then Engorged, that's right, Engorged, explodes on death, inflicting nature damage to all enemies within 30 yards. So some of this stuff sounds like Mythic Plus mechanics out in the open world. Now, this is interesting. Whether or not we're ever going to see any kind of world tier difficulties out in the retail version of the game, not sure. I mean, this is how they test stuff, right? They're testing things in Legion Remix. We'll see if this ever gets brought to the real world. But what's interesting is there's some lore shit going on here. So evidently, the way that this world tier stuff works is Eternus and the other Infinite Dragons are creating an altered version of the timeline to experiment in. Now, I don't know if this will ever happen in retail too, but this is an interesting lore thing that we could use probably in retail to explore what happens if the Void actually wins, right? Because you could actually see what the world would look like should a certain event take place. In the world tier event here, we can see that the skybox actually gets changed completely, so it's not just the broken shore that gets taken over by the Void or the what's it called, Burning Legion skybox, but actually the entire world gets taken over by this. So you can see the whole world is covered up in a Burning Legion skybox, which is pretty cool. And actually another really cool one is the Kyrians are no longer the ones who res you, but instead you are now resed by a spirit healer that looks like a Moss-worn entity. Interestingly enough, so maybe this is some kind of alternate universe where the Jailer has won, and the Moss-worn have completely taken over the afterlife because there are no more Kyrian. It's a nice little maybe lore, just fun thing, or it could be something more down the line. Again, remix events are real things that take place even in retail, but it's happening through the Infinite Dragonflight in a separate timeline. So these are real lore events happening. So, I mean, we'll see if this actually plays into any lore that could eventually affect retail, but I thought this stuff was kind of cool. And then finally, Blizzard previewed some housing stuff. That's right, we got some more housing images here happening. I'm thinking of making a Blood DK. I think I'm going to make a Blood DK. I think I'm going to make another one. That's right, just to see how much I can push this shit and how far I can actually get in terms of overpowering myself and making myself unkillable. From your favorite expansion, Legion was a pretty good expansion for sure. There you go, proof they are not recycling the Jailer. That's right, yeah, we'll see if Jailer lore continues. But anyways, housing stuff. That's right, we got more housing updates. So Blizzard released a little tweet thing here where they actually showed off a bunch of stuff for the big Q&A that's coming up. I'll let this play here in the background. Pretty cool stuff. Basically, it's about the new, again, Q&A that's coming up here on October 1st. They're talking about Legion Remix and everything, and they show some images for the coming expansion. Obviously, you see here in the Midnight expansion. They're going to be talking about a lot of that stuff coming. But also more housing customizations. You see here a bunch of images showing different stuff for the outdoor versions of your homes. Obviously, outdoor customization going to be a cool thing to play through as well for everyone who's going to be a player housing enjoyer. But they show a bunch of stuff like this, like different roofing models here. We see a bunch of screenshots here taken from this stuff, little windows that you can put up here. Also look at this, the little bell tower / clock tower. Different ways you can change up the outside of your house here. Some really cool stuff. And then customizing a bunch of UI stuff here. We see, look at this. I mean, you could literally change the size of something to be mega sized, even outside of your home. And one thing that Blizzard has mentioned many times is the customizations that you do on the outside of your home will actually be viewable to all other players. Even though the inside of your home is instance, the outside of your home is kind of instance just to the neighborhood. So any changes you make to the outside of your home will be visible to other players. As they say, the HUD UI here looks like it's going to be actually changeable and customizable, which is cool. Another cool add to the game for sure. Will professions come into play when building stuff here? I'm sure professions will come into play. There is professions are a great way to get players to play more, gathering, doing shit. So I'm sure profession items will come into play when it comes to player housing, creating things that can be used for sure, no doubt. That would be cool. Yeah, I definitely think professions will play a role, as well as many other things, whether it's, like we said before, and we've seen before, achievements, killing bosses, doing all kinds of stuff. They're going to try to tie basically every aspect of the game back into player housing for good reason. They put a lot of work into it, and I think it's just an additional add-on to the game that'll keep people subbed and keep people playing. If people aren't interested in player housing, the good thing is they really don't have to participate in it at all. It's there's no need to do player housing. It's just an extra thing that you can do. I need a garden to grow my herbs. They need to add mine in my house. I don't think so. One thing I don't think they're going to do, though, in my backyard so I can farm important. I don't think they're going to do that. I don't think they're going to allow professions shit to be done in the player housing district because of what happened with garrisons. Yeah. I highly doubt they're going to allow that shit to happen because garrisons became a big money boon for people, basically a way to just farm professions in one area, and I don't think they want that to happen again. I mean, they literally had to come up with the long boys to fix the economy after that shit happened, so I don't think that's what's going to happen at all. And that is all in terms of news.